Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. I'm absolutely shocked. Our CM Bros has managed to reverse engineer Dan Hen's kit from the official trials, the playthroughs that we've done. And they did this by comparing various Danhans. You can see there's level 58 and the level 78 one, because the Danhan that's given to you is based on your Equilibrium and Trailblazer stats. So they actually managed to break down Danhan's skill kit and the multipliers by using official sources only. You can see Danhan, we know his skills. They've got the normal attack and then the enhanced attack. And at 3 max enhanced, that's when you use the 3 dots, Danhan's damage is God, massive in comparison to his base attack. So this is definitely a unit that you want to use and spam the enhanced attacks at max level. Not only does it hit a single target, it also expands to the 2 adjacent targets, and the break gauge damage across the 3 targets is massive. It's about 2 times any other character's battle skill. So they even broken down the Lycone that was used in the trial by looking at the stats as well as the bonus provided by the Lycone, and you can see that those 2 4 stars was kind of the breakdown and the choices that they've tested, because the other ones just had too much stats. And finally, it was the 4-star Lycone that gave the 12% crit on kill, and they've confirmed it by killing a unit and then looking at the stat, how it changed. And by looking at the stat gain across level 58 and level 78 version, you can see that they were able to calculate pretty much the final stat for Danhan. His attack is really high, and with the attack calculator, then you can work backwards and check the multipliers for Danhan. So honestly, a lot of math was involved, and it's just, I'm in awe of the amount of work they've done. So let's break down Danhan's skill kit and the multipliers on his skills and how good he is actually based on the trial, because this is probably the version that we are going to get. This right now is kind of the base attack and how much each level provides. And at base level, it's 2 hits, and first stage upgrades 3 and goes up to 5, and then 7 hits, and you do get a damage increase buff that goes up to 5 stacks. So he has a damage increase buff up to 5 stacks that's relevant to Danhan's skill. So you know how every time he attacks, you'll get 1 stack, but if you enhance your skill, you obviously get more attack instances, and that goes up to 5. So that's a 40% damage increase according to the calculators. Again, this is based on the test kits. It's not based on any of the leaked documents. And you'll see at max enhancement attack, Danhan's multiplier goes up to a whopping 901% across the 3 targets. Holy cow, that is absolutely crazy. And they alluded to the fact that Jing Yuan's Lightning Lord plus Jing Yuan's kit all together is about a 990% damage output multiplier, right? So Danhan, each time he moves, is kind of like a max stack Lightning Lord. So they wanted to test this because, you know, it doesn't look fair. So they compared Jing Yuan's damage with the same kind of stats versus Danhan's, and you can see, goddamn, Danhan actually won on top if you compare the 3 max enhanced attack versus that Lightning Lord 10 stack. Danhan does a bit more. Now, at the end of the video, they'll talk about why this is the case, and don't worry too much about power creep. But let's break down the enhanced attack and consume the 3 dots thing in the trial. And of course, in this trial, we get a max 3 dots every single time. That's why it's not consuming any skill points at the moment. Now, we don't know if you don't have the max dot, does it consume skill points, or are you just not allowed to use this enhanced attack at all? That's something to check. And they are guessing that to obtain those dots to use the enhanced attacks, it will come from the ultimate, because in the trial you're not allowed to use the ultimate. So that's basically one source they couldn't test, though they think the ultimate will recharge those 3 dots that you can use. Otherwise, you have to use skill points. And for Danhan, without a speed boot, it's going to be very skill point heavy if it's not going to be recharged by the ultimate. If you look at it right now, even with Luocha and Ting, who are very skill positive, plus a high speed Pela, you are not going to be able to keep up, because Dang Heng, if you use enhanced skill every single time, that's about a negative, almost, I think they said a 20 something skill point across the 11 turns. So Dang Heng most likely will have to be used at a E0 no Kong level, granting that they don't help, have to be used on, you know, 2 enhanced attack and into 2 normal attack, kind of interchanging that. But even with that, with Bronya push and timing the enhanced attack, he is going to be outputting 1.3 times Jingyuan's damage. Now, in the CN calculation at its current moment, Seele's team is about 11% more in comparison to the equivalent of Jingyuan's. That's their calculation at E0. Dang Heng is 1.3 times, right? That's 30% more. Are we going to see power creep? Because we know, of course, the imaginary team right now has Welt. Welt is a very strong character, but we don't have a hyper carry. Is Dang Heng going to be the imaginary hyper carry? But Welt is pretty skill point heavy, along with Yukon, who is the support for the imaginary, also very skill point heavy. So I'd be very curious to see how they work, and if we have to basically, because Yukon has a burst window, right, with the buffs and all the crit damage and crit rate buff. Does that mean that when we use with Dang Heng, we do have to use Dang Heng's unenhanced attack and then time the enhanced attack with Yukon's buff to do that massive damage output? So again, that's something we have to test. But personally, I would like to see a Dang Heng that can just spam max enhance attack. I think that would be ideal. But again, they talk about Bronya is going to be a very good support for Dang Heng, and you just have to run a super fast Bronya so that you can do a Dang Heng base attack, and then when you're needing the Bronya push into the enhanced attack, then it's going to be good. And they say it's very similar to how right now the Blade Bronya combination is actually so good, right? If you guys have the Blade Bronya as well as Lucha combination, we know how strong. It's honestly, in my opinion, one of the best 3-man teams out there right now. And personally, I run it, and I'm hoping to add Dang Heng to the team, having Blade as a kind of pseudo support, and hopefully I can do a half normal attack, half enhanced max Dang Heng combo. They talk about the cones that you can use. There is a destruction cone that is really good, that's free to play in the Herta store, and the amount of damage it offers Dang Heng is 92%. In comparison to the free Seele Hunt's Path that gives 82%, this cone is actually really good. This cone is really good for Dang Heng. Now, looking at the other 2 5-star cones, the Blade cone and the Clara cone, they're also decent options as well, but the free 5-star Destruction Cone is absolutely perfect for Dang Heng. So it's suggesting if you want, you can already start saving up the currency, and if you're pulling for Dang Heng, you can definitely grab that free cone. So Dang Heng right now, the position is a very tight timed window for massive amounts of burst, because skill point wise he's going to be very hungry. So I'm going to see, because right now with my E2 Blade and E1 Bronya and her signature cone and Lucha, I will come out positive 3, sometimes 4 skill points in Memory Chaos. So if I relegate Blade to support, so Bronya is not pushing him as much, am I able to get a Dang Heng that fits in the team and can output really high damage just with his own kind of kit without having to find other skill point regenerators? But anyhow, it's TimaeuSS here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye now.